Welcome back. We have breaking news on the major air disaster in India. We now know the identity of a Canadian on board the Air India flight that crashed near the northwestern Indian city of Ahmedabad. The family says Mississauga, Ontario dentist Nirali Sureshkumar Patel was among the 240 passengers on board the London-bound flight. More than 200 people are feared dead among the victims. At least 5 medical students. Global Affairs Canada says consular officials have reached out to the family but is not sharing further information due to privacy considerations. Officials are also in contact with local authorities for more information. The plane crashed into the residential quarters of doctors at a medical college. Let's go across to CTV's Kamil Karamali, who is joining us with more. Kamil, what an awful tragedy we are tracking this afternoon coming from Ahmedabad. What's the latest you can share with us? What do we know about what's going on?
Yeah, the husband of this Mississauga dentist confirming to Canadian press that his wife was on board. He also said that they are working to fly himself as well as their 1-year-old child over to India, to Ahmedabad, to try and get in contact with people on the ground there to fly over and see if they can try and get there in time as soon as possible. So that's the latest what we know in terms of the limited information about the Canadian on board. But we're also talking about 241 others that were on board that flight. So far, other outlets, local outlets, have confirmed there was 1 survivor. Someone from London, UK, has survived, according to local reports. But the death toll on how many were killed, not only on the flight but also on the ground, is still up in the air in some way, because there's still conflicting reports. As many as 290 killed, according to Reuters, who are sourcing local police, saying that many were killed. So we know that there were 242 people on board this Air India flight AI-171. It crashed roughly 5 minutes after taking off at around 1:30 local time. It's a Boeing 787 Dreamliner leaving Ahmedabad, a city in northwestern India, for Gatwick Airport. According to flight radar, the plane signal was lost seconds after takeoff when it reached a height of around 190 meters. You can see it falling pretty quickly here, just over a suburb area of Ahmedabad, residents and witnesses talk about a large explosion that you can see here, a fireball followed by plumes of black smoke. Now, local media is also saying it crashed into a building that housed doctors, young medical students that worked in local hospitals, a hostel for these young doctors. And there have been reports of many students missing. At the very least, there are about 50 to 60 injured and at least 5 medical students killed. So we're not only talking about the more than 240 or so in the plane, but we're also talking about several casualties on the ground in this hostel for medical students. We talked about the 1 Canadian, Nirali Sureshkumar Patel, but there's also 169 Indian nationals on board, 53 Britons, and 7 Portuguese people. Reuters also saying that 11 children were on board. Akshay, when it comes to the investigation, we know India is going to be spearheading this investigation. The U.S. has also sent a team down to India to take part in this investigation because the Boeing 787 Dreamliner is manufactured in the United States. It's the first make and model of that kind that has ever been involved in a crash. And the United Kingdom also sending a team down there to take part in this investigation because that was the destination. So a lot of moving parts here, and as for now, it's just a matter of trying to figure out how many people were killed and how many injured, seeing that number is still in flux.
Such an awful, awful tragedy, of course, making this now an international tragedy. Kamil, like you pointed out, there are Indian nationals, British nationals, Canadian, Portuguese, all involved in this crash. And quickly, if you could just run us through some of the reactions that are coming in from all across with this tragedy.
Well, we know that we just heard from Premier Doug Ford, seeing that now we know that the Canadian killed is from Ontario, a Mississauga dentist. He's been passing along along his condolences. We also heard from Prime Minister Mark Carney earlier today saying that he's devastated to learn of the crash of a London-bound Air India plane in Ahmedabad carrying 242 passengers, including one Canadian. He also goes on to say Canada's transportation officials are in close contact with counterparts and that he's receiving regular updates as the response to this tragedy unfolds. We heard from India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The tragedy in Ahmedabad has stunned and saddened us. It is heartbreaking beyond words. And in this sad hour, my thoughts are with everyone affected by it. He's also been in touch with ministers and authorities who have been working to assist those affected. Among those who are also passing along their condolences was King Charles. We've heard from different world leaders, including from Ireland, from other European nations, as well as this tragedy is affecting not just Indians, the Portuguese, Canadians, as well as Britons, but also seems to be having a ripple effect around the world at this point, Akshay.
CTV's Kamil Karamali with the latest on that tragedy. Kamil, thank you.
You're welcome.